Hello everybody and welcome to Module 10. This is your peer editing module. So as we get closer to the end of the semester and we're really trying to hone in and get those really refined final drafts, one of the best ways to do that is through peer editing. So um, it's really hard when you've been staring at the same paper all semester for you to catch those little mistakes or maybe confusing sentences because you know what you were trying to say and you know what you've been trying to say the whole semester, so it makes sense to you. Also, same thing, even me as your instructor, as I've read your papers, I know what your outline would look like. I know what your proposed thesis statements were. So as I read through your papers, I'm kind of reading it with that prior knowledge. But peer editing is a great way for you to get an outside perspective on your paper and really for someone else to see, does your thesis statement make sense? Do you have enough supporting arguments for that thesis statement? Because they don't know what your thesis statement was supposed to be. So if you don't have a clearly worded thesis statement, they're not going to be able to find it because they don't know what it was supposed to be. Unlike I knew what your thesis statements are supposed to be, and so do you. So this is a really great way to get that outside perspective to really start honing in and refining that paper. So for this week, you do have your Module 10 reading. You have your Module 10 online resource, which when you go to it gives you some kind of peer editing strategies. So as you as the peer editor, make sure you read through this, and it gives you some things to focus on as you're reading your peer's paper as you're going through that. There's also a tips for formal writing and common issues. So this is actually a video that I put together. It really has some good information on just some things that you might not have thought about as you go through your paper and as you're looking for very specific things. There's also a section down in here. Some of your papers I put to remove your line spacing between paragraphs because you have extra line spacing. So there's a part of the video that shows you actually how to do that in Word. So it gives you just some little tips and hints. And also these are things that I'm looking for specifically as I go through your paper. So it's really good to pay attention to this video as well. Okay, so on to the peer editing. So how is this going to work? So if you turned in your grammar exercise from last week, that is the assignment I'm going to use. I am going to email that to, I'm going to randomly assign you to someone in the class. So I will email them your paper and I'm going to CC you on that email so you know who your paper is being sent to. They will have through the end of this week, so through Sunday at midnight, to complete that peer eval and get it back to you. Same thing, you will get one as well. As long as you turned a paper in last week, you will get a peer eval paper to complete as well. So again, please pay attention to that peer editing tips and tricks, some strategies to go through, so that way you can do a really good job. A couple of words of advice for that is don't be afraid to be too hard. Obviously, don't be rude when you're making your comments, but if there is something that is truly confusing, let the person know, hey, this is confusing. I don't understand why this goes here, or this sentence doesn't make sense to me. So that way they know. It's really important to point those kind of things out. It's also not your responsibility to rewrite sentences that are confusing. You can simply say that this is confusing, rewrite. But if you see things like commas or spelling errors, obviously mark those as you go through. Also, please do make some notes, like if you think that they overall supported their paper or if their argument was weak, something like that. So that way they know if they need to add more information as they go through. So a couple little tips for that. And then finally, I just wanted to show you guys the schedule, kind of see where we stand. So this week is your peer editing. So that is due at the end of the week. So make sure that's due by Sunday at midnight. That is going to give you guys all of Thanksgiving break and all of the week after Thanksgiving break for week 14 to work on those peer edits and the final edits for your draft. I will also be working on getting the last draft that you guys sent to me edited and sent back to you, so you guys can use my edits plus your grammar check plus your peer edits to work on actually completing that final draft that is due that final week. So really, even if you don't want to do anything through the week of Thanksgiving break, which I completely understand, take the time and enjoy that, you will actually have 2 full weeks to work on those edits from your peer edits, your Grammarly, and the edits that I send back to you to get those final papers that are due on December 9th. So if you guys have any questions as you guys are working through those, please let me know, and I hope you have a wonderful week.